Hey everyone, welcome back to part 7 of my Klondike and C++ tutorial. So today we're going to be starting off with our move functions. So I've already went ahead and created a moves.h file in our project and included our types.h and some boilerplate code. And we're going to start off by having our turnStock function. So yeah, let's go right in. So turnStock function is going to have a parameter, and it's only going to need a pointer to the stock. And basically, first it's going to check if the stock has no cars left. So if there's no cars left, we're simply just going to return false. So in this situation, returning false means that the move was not executed correctly and there was an error. Otherwise, while true, what we're going to do is we're going to flip the face card. So we're going to increment to the next card since we're returning the stock. And we're going to check a few conditions. So if the face card is greater than the stock size, so that's if we're over. If we're over, then we're simply going to set the face card to -1. And what this really represents is when we approach the end of a deck and there's no card being displayed, we're going to actually need to flip another time to go back, and we're going to have to like flip the waste back into the stock. So this is kind of what it represents here. And then over here, what we're checking now is if the face card is the stock size, which is basically if we're flipping to the last card, if we're flipping the last card to the waste, then we just want to stop there. And then otherwise, we're going to check if the current card being displayed by the stock, if it's not a no card, then we're going to return true. And the reason why we have to have this while loop here is because the way we're implementing the stock, if you remember from before, is we're simply just having this array of set size of stock size of 24. But as we remove elements from this array, we're not really moving and shifting all the other elements. So we're just going to have kind of scattered elements of no card within. So basically, this is kind of, so we're skipping those cards. So it's going to keep repeating this until either it's reached the end of the stock of the stack, or it's reached a card which is not a no card, so it's going to go ahead and display it. And once it does that, this is just a catch-22, so we're just going to catch if for some reason we break out of this while loop, which we really shouldn't. And then we're actually going to use this function in our next function, which is our static foundation. So this is when we're moving a card from the stock to the foundation. So it's going to have the game state parameter passed in, a pointer to the game state, sorry. And basically from there, we can extract a pointer to a stock, which is just going to be the AND address for the game state and stock. So this is just so we can extract the stock, since that's really the only thing we need. And then first we're going to check if the stock is currently displaying a card. So if you guys remember over here, it would not be displaying a card since it's either stock size or it's going to be -1. So if it's not displaying a card, then we're simply going to return false, since we cannot move a non-card to the foundation. There's just no card. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and extract that stock card using this right here. We're going to use the face card as an index, since this face card is indexed at 0. And then we're going to get the foundation index. And basically, kind of what this is we want to get the suit of the card, because what we're going to be doing is when we're entering commands, we don't really want to necessarily always specify which suit we're moving the card to. So we can go ahead and just extract the suit of the stock card using get card suit and use that as an index for our foundation. And this is it just works out really nicely. So then now we can extract which foundation we're moving to, because now that we have the suit of the stock card, we can go ahead and find the foundation, the correct correlating foundation suit using this foundation index in our game state foundations. Next, what we want to see is if there are no cards in our foundation, so there's 0 cards in our foundation, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to see if this card, if it's not an ace, because it has to be an ace, then we're just going to go ahead and return false. Because if there are no cards, then the first card has to be an ace. Otherwise, the stock card has to be 1 higher than the previous card. And actually, I'm thinking there's going to be a better way to implement this, but I will let you guys know in the next video. And basically, if it's not 1 higher, then it is an illegal move, since it has to be 1 higher than the previous card, and we're just going to return false. Otherwise, this is a valid move, so we can return true. And what we're going to do first is we're going to add a foundation card. So we're going to add the stock card to the foundation at the foundation.cards index. And this actually works out because at cards, since cards is indexed at 1, it's actually going to be 1 higher then the last set card. It's going to be a no card index, and then we can just increment the number of cards. Our next step is to remove the stock card. So we're going to go ahead and remove the stock card at the stock.face card. We're going to set that to no card. And this is, remember, the reason why we need this while loop in this turn stock function. And then we're actually going to go ahead and turn the stock. Since now we are at a no card position, we have to turn to the next card. And then we're going to simply decrement the number of cards left in the stock and return true. So let's save this and let's go ahead in our main and let's test this out. So we already have our print game state and our start game. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to copy over, let's do the turn stock first. So we're just going to turn the stock at the stock value. So we're going to do print the game state, and then let's actually duplicate this. And I'm just going to do turn, oh, actually, sorry, I have to include move.h. And we're just going to do turn stock, and we're going to reference a pointer to the game state, and then the dot stock. And we're going to print it again. So let's go ahead and compile and see how it looks. So I'm just going to do make. And we actually get an error here. Interesting. Let me just go ahead and check. Oh, I actually completely forgot to define my rank. So let me go ahead and define that real quick. I think I was going to do it in the last video, but it just completely slipped my mind. So all right, let's try compiling again. All right, so we compile and let's just run it. And as you can see, we were able to turn our stock. So the next was an 8 of clubs. And I mean, our next step is really, we're going to be testing our stock to foundation. So let's test that out. And this is actually, we can't really test this because we can't always move a card to the foundation. So what I'm going to do is, and this is not good practice, but I'm simply just going to do a while loop and try to get a result here. So we're going to turn the stock, and then we're going to do stock to foundation. We're going to do a reference to the game state. We're going to print the stock again. And then I'm just going to do a car, just so we can kind of see what's happening here. So let's compile. And every time I press enter, it's going to try to move the stock to the foundation. Hopefully we can see something. Okay, so as you can see, it's moved these 3 cards to the foundation. I wasn't really paying attention. But we can see that the clubs is at the clubs, the spades at the spades, and the diamonds at the diamonds. And now the heart should be at the heart. Oh, I see. Okay. So yeah, the reason for this is because we actually turned the stock before we moved the stock to foundation, so this card wasn't moved. But yes, this is working exactly as we want it to. So in the next video, we're going to be moving on to our pile to foundation, since moving cards to foundation is a very basic operation. And then we're going to do our stock to pile, and lastly, we're going to do pile to pile. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you have any suggestions, please leave a comment below as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys in part 8.